Unbroken After Defeat, The Spirit of Survival by Nyowo Scott. Palava Hut Publishing. Chapter 1. The Shock of Defeat. Defeat often strikes like a thunderclap, sudden, disorienting, and utterly overwhelming. In those first moments, the world seems to shrink, and the weight of your failures become an anchor, dragging you into the sea of despair. Your mind replays the event endlessly, scrutinizing every misstep, every decision that led to this point. Yet, as unsettling as this storm feels, it is here, in this chaos, that the seed of growth is sown. Defeat is not a conclusion, but the start of a transformative journey. Emotions surge like an untamed river in the wake of failure. Anger, shame, disappointment, and fear intertwine, creating a cacophony that feels inescapable. You may wish to suppress these feelings, to deny their existence, but this is a futile endeavor. Suppression breeds weakness, not strength. Instead, acknowledge these emotions as natural responses to adversity. They are the fire that forges resilience, provided you learn to temper them. In this vulnerable state, there is a temptation to retreat, to hide from the world and from yourself. This is a dangerous path, one that leads to stagnation and self-pity. Jomo Kenyatta, Kenya's first president, once said, "Strength does not come from external might, but from the ability to endure and remain unshaken." Strength begins with the courage to confront emotions and face the reality of defeat, no matter how painful. The world's judgment adds another layer to the burden of failure. Whispers of criticism, mocking laughter, or silent disapproval can cut deeper than the wound itself. Society often treats defeat as a blemish, a sign of inadequacy. But here lies your greatest challenge: to understand that the opinions of others are fleeting, insignificant compared to the enduring truth of your own growth. The ridicule of the crowd cannot diminish the value of the lessons you are about to learn. At the heart of every defeat lies an undeniable truth. You tried. You dared to aim higher, to step into the unknown, to risk failure in the pursuit of something greater. This alone is an act of courage. Many fear failure so deeply that they never take the first step. You, however, have done what they would not. Your effort, regardless of the outcome, is a testament to your character and ambition. To recover from defeat, you must begin by dissecting with the precision of a philosopher. What were the external factors? What role did your own decisions play? This is not an exercise of self-condemnation, but in understanding. Only by seeing the entire picture can you hope to extract the wisdom hidden within. Failure, examined honestly, is a teacher more profound than success. While the shock of defeat may feel like an insurmountable mountain, it is merely a moment in the vast journey of your life. Life is fleeting, and each experience, even the painful ones, is part of the greater whole. Sekou Touré once advised, "The future belongs to the ones who refuse to be prisoners of their circumstances." Master your thoughts, and you master your destiny. Your reaction to this moment will define not only your recovery, but your future self. Acceptance is the first step towards freedom. Accept that what has happened cannot be undone. Time will not rewind to offer you a second chance. This truth is not meant to dishearten, but to liberate. Acceptance allows you to not focus on the past, but on what lies ahead. The pain of failure is transient. The lessons it offers are eternal. As you stand amid the wreckage of your efforts, remember this: every defeat carries the seeds of victory. This moment, though painful, is the foundation upon which your future triumphs will be built. The shock of defeat is not a curse, but a call to action. A reminder that life's most valuable treasures are often hidden in the darkest corners. Take a deep breath. This is where your journey begins. Chapter 2. The Mirror of Truth. In the quiet aftermath of defeat, there lies an opportunity few dare to seize. The pain of failure often drives us to distraction, tempting us to place blame elsewhere or to bury disappointment beneath the layers of denial. But for those who seek to grow, this moment is sacred. It is in this stillness that the mirror of truth emerges, reflecting not only on what happened, but who are we in its wake. To stare into the mirror is an act of courage, but it demands honesty untainted by ego and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable. The first question the mirror asks is simple yet profound. Why did you fail? Was it a lack of preparation, overconfidence, or external circumstances beyond your control? While external factors often play a role, the mirror demands that you look inward first. It is far easier to blame others or fate than admit that you were unprepared and inattentive. Yet, this omission is not an indictment of your character. It is a path to wisdom. While we cannot control external events, we are always responsible for our responses and readiness. The second question cuts deeper. What could you have done differently? Here lies the crux of reflection. It is not enough to acknowledge failure. You must extract its lessons. What pattern in your behavior led to this outcome? Perhaps you acted impulsively when patience was required, or ignored warning signs that now seem obvious. The mirror forces you to dissect each decision, not to wallow in regret, but to refine your judgment for the future. Every misstep becomes a teacher if you're willing to learn. Honesty in this process is crucial. The human mind, defensive by nature, often seeks to shield us from discomfort by realizing mistakes or rewriting history. Yet self-deception is the enemy of growth. To evolve, you must resist the urge to soften the truth. Acknowledge your faults, even when it stings, and embrace them as tools for transformation. In this way, the mirror becomes a mentor, guiding you toward a better version of yourself. You must understand that no failure is wasted if it is met with understanding. Thomas Sankara once said, "We must dare to invent the future, and in doing so, we must accept that failures will be our greatest teachers." This philosophy invites us to shift our perspective. Failures are not enemies to be feared, but gifts to be unwrapped. Within each setback lies a lesson, waiting patiently for discovery. The question is not whether you failed, but whether you learned. As you reflect, the mirror also challenges you to question your priorities. Did you fail because you pursued the wrong goal or underestimated the difficulty of the task? Perhaps the defeat itself is a signal that your values needs recollaboration. Value alignment between one's actions and higher principles. If your failure reveals a misalignment, view it not as a condemnation, but as an invitation to realign your life with what truly matters. The process of reflection is not without pain, but it is a cleansing pain. To confront your shortcomings is to strip away the illusions that weaken you. The scars of failure, once examined, become badges of wisdom. The mirror of truth does not flatter, but neither does it mock. Its purpose is to illuminate, to show you where you stumble so that you may walk with greater steadiness in the future. What emerges from this process is not only a clearer understanding of your past, but a fortified resolve for the future. You learn to anticipate pitfalls and navigate challenges with greater precision. The mirror teaches you to act with intention and to avoid the complacency that leads to defeat. In time, you come to see reflection not as a chore but a ritual, a moment to recollaborate and prepare for what lies ahead. Ultimately, the mirror of truth is a tool for liberation. It frees you from the shackle of self-pity and the prison of blame, empowering you to take ownership of your life. By facing the truth, you gain the strength to move forward unburdened by the weight of denial. And in doing so, you rise from defeat not broken, but wiser and more resolute. Chapter 3. The Weight of Opinions. In the aftermath of failure, it is not the loss itself that often holds us captive, but the fear of how others perceive it. The whispers, the smirks, and the sidelong glances. They can feel heavier than the failure itself. Yet, if we pause and reflect, we realize that judgment are fleeting and powerless unless we grant them significance. The opinions of others are external, outside our control, and therefore irrelevant to eternal peace. We must ask ourselves, why should the laughter of others weigh more than the lessons of defeat? When we tie our worth to the perceptions of others, we become their prisoners. Their opinions becomes the chain that binds us, dictating our confidence, our decisions, and our ability to rise again. As James Baldwin once wrote, I choose to measure my worth by the light of my convictions, not by the ever-changing voices of those around me. To break free, we must detach. Our focus should remain on the values we hold dear, on the actions we can take, and on the person we are becoming, not on the fleeting judgments of the crowd. Failure is a mirror, reflecting back both on our weaknesses and strength. Yet when we let others' opinion cloud that reflection, we see only their distortions, not the truth of ourselves. Imagine a painter criticized by those who have never touched a brush. Their critique may sting, but it is baseless. Similarly, many who judge our failures lack the courage to try or the wisdom to learn from their own mistakes. Why, then, do we let those voices drown out our own inner growth? It is natural to feel the sting of judgment. It is a mark of our humanity. Yet to let it control us is a choice, and a harmful one at that. While emotions are inevitable, our response to them is entirely within our power. When others mock our failure, consider, are their words rooted in the truth, or are they mere echoes of their own insecurities? By viewing judgment through this lens, we weaken its grip and strengthen our own resolve. Releasing the weight of opinion does not mean living in isolation or arrogance. It means living authentically. It requires courage to chart the path that others may not understand or approve of. But authenticity brings freedom. When we align our actions with our values, rather than with public approval, we find a deep and abiding peace. Our victories feel earned, and our defeat becomes lessons rather than sources of shame. True growth often comes at a cost of misunderstanding. The more we detach from the need for approval, the more likely we are to succeed on our own terms. People may laugh at your missteps, but they are merely spectators, not participants in your journey. They do not feel your struggles, nor can they claim a share in your ultimate triumph. In the grand arc of your life, the opinions of others are but whispers in the wind. They may be loud in the moment, but they fade with time, leaving only your actions and character behind. Focus on the things within your control, how you respond, what you learn, and how you grow. These are the makers of true strength and wisdom. To share the weight of opinions is to reclaim your power. It is to recognize that no external voice can define your worth unless you let it. By doing so, you shift your energy from appeasing others to building yourself. And as you grow stronger, the opinion that once loomed large will shrink into insignificance. Life is too short and too precious to be lived according to the fears of judgment. When defeat comes, let it be your teacher, not your master. Rise not to prove others wrong, but to prove to yourself that you are capable of rising at all. For in the end, it is not the opinions of others that matter, but the opinion you hold of yourself. Let that opinion be rooted in resilience, courage, and unshakable self-respect. Chapter 4. The Wisdom of Preparation. Defeat, while painful, is the world's most honest teacher. It strips away illusions of invisibility and forces us to confront gaps in our readiness. Yet, failure's value lies in revealing what must be refined. Preparation is the bridge between defeat and success, not mere anticipation, but the intentional cultivation of skills, knowledge, and mindset. To prepare wisely is to fortify oneself against uncertainty, transforming fears into readiness. True preparation begins with an autopsy of failure. One must dissect setbacks with precision, seeking neither to justify nor deny circumstances. What choices led to this? Were the warning signs ignored or opportunities squandered? Reflection, though uncomfortable, is invaluable. It identifies patterns that, if unchecked, could cause future defeats. Preparation is impossible without self-awareness. One cannot address what they refuse to acknowledge. Yet, preparation isn't just about avoiding mistakes. It's about cultivating foresight. Life's path is rarely straight. It is filled with detours and challenges. One must meet these uncertainties with calm and readiness, not because they expect easy victories, but because they are trained to endure and adapt. Just as a sailor prepares the vessel for storms, we must fortify ourselves for trials ahead. Effective preparation requires embracing discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It's forged through challenge and effort. Those who fear failure often avoid preparation, mistaking it for a sign of inadequacy. But preparation is an act of strength, a declaration that while perfection may elude us, we are committed to becoming better, stronger, and more capable. Preparation also demands discipline. It's easy to become complacent in time of success or peace. Yet, this is when failure takes root. Discipline ensures we refine our skills and expand knowledge even when the threat seems distant. A prepared mind, like a well-toned instrument, is ready to create harmony, no matter the melody life plays. Beyond the self, preparation involves seeking wisdom from others. Mentorship and learning from past experiences are crucial. One lifetime is too short to make every mistake personally. To prepare is to remain humble enough to ask questions and wise enough to listen. The collective wisdom of humanity is as vital a resource as any skill. An often overlooked aspect of preparation is resilience. No plan is foolproof, and no amount of preparation guarantees success. But resilience ensures that when plans fail, we do not falter. It is the ability to adapt, re-collaborate, and move forward. Preparation is as much about mindset as action. A resilient mind sees challenges not as insurmountable walls, but as hurdles to be cleared with effort and ingenuity. Preparation is a long-term commitment. Success is rarely immediate, and effort's rewards ripen slowly. You must prepare with patience, knowing that the journey matters as much as the destination. Embrace the process, understanding that consistent efforts leads to monumental results. While preparation doesn't guarantee victory, it prevents stagnation. It empowers us to face uncertainty with confidence, knowing we have done all within our power to be ready. And when defeat visits again, as it surely will, we will rise, reflect, and prepare once more, not with fear, but with wisdom. Chapter 5. The Art of Moving Forward. To remain in the shadow of the past is to deny the present and compromise the future. Defeat, though bitter, is unchangeable. It belongs to yesterday, a realm beyond our control. Yet, many of us cling to it, replaying our mistakes and agonizing over alternative outcomes. Regret is a thief of time and energy, resources better invested in what lies ahead. To move forward, we must recognize the futility of wishing to rewrite what is already written. Accept what has happened, not as a burden, but as a foundation for growth. This is not to say that pain or failure should be ignored. Pain is a natural response, an honest signal that something has gone awry. But rather than dwell in that pain, we must learn from it. Let's reflect on the metaphor of fire. When something burns, it releases energy. In the same way, our pain can fuel progress if harnessed correctly. By embracing failure as a teacher, we transform what was once a source of despair into a wellspring of wisdom. Consider this. What benefit does regret provide? Does it make the event disappear? Does it empower you to act? The answer is no. Regret immobilizes. It shackles you to the very thing you seek to escape. Moving forward requires that recognizing that you are not defined by a singular moment of failure. You are defined by what you choose to do next. Focus on the future, where action is possible, rather than the past, where change is impossible. The present moment, fleeting as it is, offers unparalleled power. Within it lies the ability to act, decide, and rebuild. Dwelling on the past mistakes wastes this opportunity. Instead, ground yourself in the now. What can you do today that will shape a better tomorrow? The past cannot respond to your will, but the present is pliable, waiting for your guidance. Moving forward also demands a confrontation with fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. All of these can paralyze. In actuality, fear is an illusion, a product of imagining things that have not yet come to pass. Focus instead on what is within your control, your actions, your mindset, your discipline. These are the tools that can forge a path through even the most daunting uncertainty. One powerful exercise is to redefine the narrative of failure. Instead of seeing it as the end, view it as the middle of your story. Imagine yourself as a traveler on a long, arduous journey. Along the way, you stumble and fall. Do you remain where you fell, lamenting on the difficulty of the road? Or do you rise, dust yourself off, and continue, knowing that every step forward brings you closer to your destiny? The choice is yours, and the ladder is always within your reach. Another essential practice is forgiveness of others, but most importantly, of yourself. We often hold ourselves to impossible standards, berating ourselves for failing to meet them. This self-punishment serves no purpose. Forgive yourself for what has happened, and you will find the freedom to move on. Remember, every person is flawed, but within those flaws lies the potential for greatness. Lastly, cultivate gratitude for the lesson learned through failure. As counterintuitive as it may seem, failure enriches your life in ways success cannot. It sharpens your awareness, strengthens your resilience, and humbles your spirit. By appreciating the growth that comes from adversity, you reframe from failure as a blessing in disguise. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you have lost to what you have gained, creating a mindset primed for progress. The art of moving forward is not about forgetting the past, but about refusing to let it define you. It is about taking the lessons, releasing the regrets, and using both to fuel your journey ahead. Each day offers a chance to be anew, to write a story of perseverance, courage, and triumph. The past may shape you, but it does not have to limit you. Step forward with intention, for the road to victory is paved by those who dare to leave defeat behind. Chapter 6. Victory through Resilience. Resilience is the quiet strength that transforms life's hardest defeat into opportunities for growth. In the aftermath of failure, it is easy to dwell on what was lost, to ruminate over mistakes, and to let regret consume you. But a resilient person sees failure for what it truly is, a teacher. The lessons gained from defeat are sharper and more enduring than those from victory, because they force us to confront our weaknesses, sharpen our focus, and recommit to our goals. True resilience is not born of denial, but of acceptance. It is the decision to stand again, wiser and more determined, in the faces of inevitable challenges. Life is a series of cycles, ups and downs, wins and losses. To think we can avoid failure is to misunderstand the nature of existence. Defeat, like the changing of seasons, is an inevitable part of life's rhythm. Resilience does not mean avoiding failure. It means learning to endure and grow through it. Expect setbacks and greet them not with despair but with curiosity. What has this defeat revealed about your character? What gaps in your preparation were exposed? Each challenge, when analyzed with this lens, becomes a tool for self-improvement rather than a source of shame. Strength is forged in adversity. Like a blade tempered by fire, the human spirit grows sharper and more formidable when tested by life's trials. Reflecting on past defeats, we find a pattern. Each time we overcome adversity, we emerge stronger. Resilience is cumulative. Every battle fought and won within ourselves adds to our reservoir of inner strength. This strength is what allows us to face future challenges, not with fear, but with confidence. Knowing that you have endured the worst and survived is a powerful foundation for facing whatever lies ahead. The opinions of others, often magnified in the moments of failure, lose their grip when resilience becomes a way of life. Do not measure your worth by external validation, but by the ability to navigate life's storms with composure. Consider the power of this mindset. When you are no longer swayed by criticism or applause, you are free to focus entirely on your personal growth. The laughter of others at your failure is irrelevant. They are mere spectators to the theater of your life. What matters is how you choose to rise, rebuild, and press forward. Defeat has a way of clarifying our priorities. In its wake, the unnecessary distractions fall away, leaving only what truly matters. The ambitions worth pursuing, the values worth preserving, and the relationships worth nurturing becomes more evident. Resilience is not just about moving forward, but about moving forward with purpose. It is about using the clarity gained from failure to realign with what is meaningful and to pursue it with renewed vigor. One of the greatest gifts of resilience is the ability to see failure not as finality, but as a moment in a larger story. Your story does not end in defeat. It evolves, twists, and turns, eventually arriving at victories born of struggle. Life is not about what happens to us, but about how we respond. Resilience allows us to rewrite the narrative of failure into one of triumph. The inevitability of future challenges should not be feared, but embraced. Each new trial is an opportunity to apply the lessons of past defeats. Resilience is a discipline, a habit of approaching difficulty with calm mind and unyielding spirit. The tools you have gained, self-awareness, emotional regulations, and persistence, will serve you time and again. In this way, life's difficulties become stepping stones, each one leading you closer to your full potential. Resilience does not promise immunity from pain or hardship, but it does promise transformation. Every time you rise after you fall, you prove to yourself that you are not defined by circumstances. You are defined by your ability to persevere, adapt, and grow. This transformation is the ultimate victory, not a single, dramatic triumph, but a lifetime of courage, progress, and purpose. In the end, resilience is about hope. It is the belief that no matter how many times you are knocked down, you have within you the strength to rise again. It is the conviction that defeat is not the end, but the beginning. With resilience as your compass, every failure becomes a step towards success, every setback a lesson, and every struggle a testament to your unwavering spirit. This is the true victory, a life lived with courage, wisdom, and resilience.